Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Thank you so much for your videos. You've been messaging us saying how we're doing over here, what's been happening. So firstly, thank you so much for your messages. Secondly, here's a short video to explain to you very briefly what's been happening in the past 2 or 3 weeks. There's been an internet blackout, so I apologize for the delay. We're suffering like everybody else over here. But here's 2 minutes, a bit more maybe, of what's been happening over here. It all started at the beginning of January when something happened. There's a lot of different analysis of exactly what happened, but the inflation just went crazy for some reason. And then on the 8th, on the 7th, 6th, 7th of January, there were protests. Natural protests. The people are suffering over here because of economic sanctions from outside. There's a lot of pressure, but it affects obviously the normal daily bread of people. And so there were protests, but it seems that it was all planned. They were planning for what we're going to call riots. So on Thursday, Friday, 8th of Jan, 9th of Jan, we just had 2 days of crazy riots. So this is where I am right now. It's a big roundabout in town, and this is where this place was on fire on Thursday night. There were riots over here, things were being destroyed. But very interestingly, I myself drove over here the next morning, right? Things were clean, quiet, everything was back to normal. And it shows how these people, they were from outside, right? They were trying to cause havoc, come in, and then come back the next night and really cause a lot of destruction, which was very sad to see. But life became back to normal very quickly. As you can see, everything's back to normal, safe and routine, I guess. Protests turned into riots? No, it was riots that were using the protests to then come in and kind of really destroy. So there was destruction. Unfortunately, they attacked mosques. Around more than 250 mosques were burnt across the country. Quran was burnt. Ambulances, they're talking about thousands of ambulances. Public transport, banks were attacked. So it was a bit of a chaos. And unfortunately, many people were killed. And not in normal way. They were brutally killed. This is Thursday and Friday. Obviously, we were all safe because they were happening in certain corners. We knew where to go, and we were told not to venture out at night. Those are the 2 days. Alhamdulillah, the leaders of these things got arrested very quickly, and we saw how things became calm very quickly after that. Since that Friday, 9th of January, maybe a bit on the 10th of January, everything became quiet quite quickly. That Monday, 12th of Jan, was very special because there was a call for people to come out, and because obviously there's confusion, right? You heard all these things that, oh, the police over here is massacring, the army over here has come in and trying to kill people. You heard all these things, right? And yes, over here as well, because we had no internet, everything was cut off. It was difficult to find out what exactly was happening. And so we were to put to test. Oh, people, come out and support. Oh, people, show. Are you for saying that you reject these riots, that we don't agree with these riots, and that we are here to support the system, support the Islamic Republic? And so out of nowhere, and really, we were there, okay? Millions came out. On that Monday, it was crazy packed. Tehran's talking about 2.2 million people. It was spectacular. In my 15 years over here, I've not seen such a thing over here. It brought the people together. It showed that the people stand on values, principles, and ideology. And that's very important, right? They distanced themselves from the riots. We realized that the riots over here was not from local. It was from outside. And so it became very clear that the riots were provoked as a revenge for the 12-day war. They realized that from outside, they can't throw things around over here because they'll just be slapped. And so they tried to break the people over here, the unity of the people, by creating havoc, and they realized that it doesn't work. And so since then, it's been quiet, it's been peaceful. We've been going to normal daily work, daily studies, you would say. And alhamdulillah, it's amazing to see. It's amazing to see people coming together and talking about the thing that really impacts them. A system that helps them, a system that is working, that is struggling. Yes, there is crazy amount of pressure from outside, right? It's a country that's under sanction. It's a country that has inflation at a high level. There's economy problem, etc. But at the end of the day, there are principles and values and ideology that we stand over here for it, right? And that's what makes the strength of the people over here. And nothing can break that. The enemy knows it, and the enemy realizes it, and they backed off. And you saw how the tone changed very quickly from Thursday, Friday, what outside presidents were saying, and then suddenly after Monday, the tone changed. Let's back off. We missed it. We didn't manage to do what we wanted to do. And so even now, as you might be hearing a lot of different things that are happening that are said, this country is powerful, it's strong, the people are united. And these are things that we're seeing around us, right? We interact with people over here, you talk to shopkeepers, everybody's complaining. Yes, things are very expensive, but everyone knows what values and principles and ideology we stand by. And so, inshallah, we hope that this leads us to a realization of where we stand, where the world is going today, and also, inshallah, leads us to the zuhur of the Imam. So, let me tell you one thing. Fir'aun in the Quran fell when he was at his peak of arrogance. That's when he fell. Today, the same thing as well. And for us, it's for us to remember that there is a Musa, and we have to follow that Musa.